Hi, this is Paul Acevedo of Windows Phone Central.
Hi, and I'm Matthias Helmond, Head of Mobile Development at XYZ Games Berlin, Germany. And we are the developer of Carcassonne for Windows Phone.
So tell me, how long did it take to make Carcassonne for Windows Phone?
Oh, in fact, it still takes doing Carcassonne for Windows Phone because we're still working on improvements and updates to be released in the future. I think the main development took like 13 months. Before that, we were developing Carcassonne on different platforms such as Java, BlackBerry, and for Android as well. So we already had something to work with.
What attracted you to Carcassonne in general?
We were doing Settlers of Catan before, or still doing that on various platforms, and that's why we are kind of fans of German board games in general, and Carcassonne was kind of the next logical board game to do on mobile devices. So we approached the publisher, who is located in Munich, Germany, and we're chatting with them, hey, what about bringing Carcassonne to more platforms? And at that point of time, they just had a deal with another developer doing the iOS version, which is also doing really fine, I think. And we agreed on bringing Carcassonne to other platforms, including Java, Android, and also Windows Phone.
Speaking of that other developer, do your two companies have a rivalry going on?
I think there was some Twitter things going on in the past. From our point of view, we'd love to work more closely together with the folks at Coding Monkeys, but I think also from a technological point of view, the decisions, let's say the architecture decisions that were made are not really compatible at this point. So that kind of prohibited doing a real cross-platform multiplayer, for instance, between iOS and Android. So I think it's quite separate products at this point of time, and we are fine with that, I think, and we just love to continue iterating and improving on our products or platforms we are supporting.
One thing that a lot of us like about their version is that it has sort of a significant single-player component to the game. Have you guys considered adding something like that to your version or future board game adaptations?
Yeah, we were discussing about this. I think the main idea of the current version of Carcassonne is really to focus on the core gameplay, which is what everybody wants to play, and that's why a special focus was put on enabling real multiplayer gameplay with Xbox Live on the Windows Phone platform. So that was kind of the core idea for this type of Carcassonne. Of course, we still do have many other ideas on how to improve the product further, and also to the community. If you have any additional improvements or suggestions, please feel free to send us an email, let us know, let your voices be heard, and we are quite actively looking into those forums as well, and try to gather your feedback. What you'd like to see next.
Let's talk about the online mode for Carcassonne. Online mode seems to be a combination of a real-time component, and the people need to be in the lobby together, and then after the game has been created, it switches to traditional asynchronous play. Okay, why the requirement for everyone to be together at once?
That's actually kind of a requirement of the matchmaking system, how it currently works with Xbox Live. So it was basically a decision also to let everybody of this match agree, hey, yes, I'd like to really play together with you guys, and then we start from there. We are aware that it brings an additional hurdle to actually establish such a multiplayer game, but that's currently the state of the kind of the basis we are working with. It might be extended or eased in the future, but at the moment we need to have this at one point of time synchronous place where all people join together and then can start the asynchronous game from there.
The achievements are another thing that some of us are a little displeased with. Is there's a requirement to play 100 games. When you pick that number, did you take into consideration how long a game of Carcassonne actually takes?
You're talking about those achievements. Some of those achievements were derived from the achievements we had in the Java and Android versions, in fact, which were even more hardcore than the achievements currently on Windows Phone. So from our impression when working with Microsoft on like how do we balance those achievements for the Windows Phone versions, we had actually kind of trying to find a balance between some more, let's say, casual achievements that are easier to get and some achievements that really require some considerable effort from the players. So I think just from the guys I know playing Carcassonne, those 100 matches achievement isn't too hard to get. If I know some folks who do like 2 or 3 Carcassonne matches a day. Those are definitely more the hardcore users for sure. But there were other achievements that are probably even harder to get, and those were eventually dropped out. So yeah, to give you an example, I think we had some achievements that you need to win 3 Carcassonne games without using fields at all. So that's really tricky to do for sure. That's an achievement that's in the Android version, but that's not really in the Windows Phone version. So we try to balance the achievements that basically you can achieve most of them within, as a really dedicated player, within, let's say, approximately 2 hours, and some more of the special achievements over a longer time.
Can you tell me about some of the challenges?
Yes, for instance, as a developer using those Xbox Live backend services, there's a kind of test environment, of course, you're working in, because you don't want to have your new achievements, etc., pop up in the real Xbox Live. So there's an environment called PartnerNet with Microsoft, where you can modify your devices that they actually connect to this test environment. And that's always a challenge because you kind of need to modify or slightly tweak your normal regular retail handsets to connect to that environment. So you always need to have those different environments to connect to, and there might be slight differences between this staging environment and the live environment that you only run into then when actually testing on the live environment later. So that was one thing, and I think the other challenge, as I said, we were very early on with the asynchronous multiplayer gaming. Just naturally there wasn't a lot of documentation or other code to go from, but we need to start basically from scratch in some areas, and had some in-depth technical discussions also with the very supportive backend folks at Microsoft to get it up and running. What a bit surprises is really the level of detail and quality that Microsoft put out on those Xbox Live titles on the Windows Phone store. So for us, having been doing console titles before, it was really quite comparable to real normal console productions in terms of the level of documentation and QA processes you have when releasing and preparing for those updates and milestones. So that's quite a lot of work you need to do, but also eventually I think it's very good for the product itself because it keeps many eyes on the product and keeps on very very well thought out development milestone plan for the overall project. For Windows Phone platform in general, it was a really good developing experience for us because the fragmentation compared to other platforms was and still is really low, I must say. Especially for the Windows Phone 7 devices, all the hardware was very similar between manufacturers, so there wasn't too much differentiation or adaptation to be made for specific devices. We had 1 or 2 devices which had minor speed differences to other devices, but that was really made up basically. So we are used to much more fragmentation on the Android or even on iOS, so it was really good working experience on the Windows Phone, and I think even with the Windows Phone 8 devices, the fragmentation is fairly limited compared to other platforms on the Windows Phone.